wait before you go live.
Oh, it's too late.
One of the things it's fine. You can go live.
Hold
it's
on,
fine.
I'm going back. I'm going back.
Circle of life.
The circle of life.
Yeah.
Hello, my little gamers. Welcome. Good morning. I know it's a little late, but good morning. I'm here with you to play some Lancer. How are you all doing? Relatively speaking.
So well.
Wow.
Oh.
Incredible. I'm ready to jump right in.
Yes.
Y'all have the page open and all that jazz?
Opening it now.
You're
Sorry.
opening it now. Oh my god.
Slightly slower than the rest of y'all.
Oh my
It's
god.
open.
It's open. It's only been live for a few minutes, but I accidentally left my OBS open last night when I was prepping, so now the it has a 8-hour timer on it. I'm not sure if that's going to mess with the audio file or the video file at all.
8 hours of
It
Lancer.
shouldn't save anything that's not live, but it has been running for 8 hours, and I don't know what that means. So we'll find out. Let's jump right into it. Actually, while I set up, can someone give me the last time on?
Pull up the
Goodbye.
notes.
It occurred to me last time, for maybe the first time ever, that everyone else is consulting the notes when they're doing the last time on. And I'm just kind of like, this is what I remember happening.
I just fucking
I
wing it
definitely
usually.
don't remember shit like that.
You.
No, a second. My cat is freaking out.
Hell yeah.
She needs to be in this room right now.
She needs to. She will die.
Yes, we had some fun character interaction. We had the class with PK where we talked a little bit more about the world as a whole, kind of got into the details about the different manufacturers and their strengths and weaknesses and like what they are what they're not necessarily good at, but what they're bad at, what their weaknesses are as a whole. Everyone else got a cookie except for me. For what that's worth. I'm still a little upset about that. It's fine.
We should have answered more questions.
Let's see. Monkey had some more specific stuff for just him, in terms of getting maybe a third job. It was either his second or his third. I don't remember.
I think it's his third, and we got invited to the night market.
Mm-hmm.
We did get an invite to the night market. I think we went to the night market.
Go to the night market.
You did.
Didn't we? Yeah.
You did.
Yes.
Claire continued to want to interact with me and the party as a whole. I don't know that I'm mentally prepared for that today, but I'll live.
You'll be fine.
Mentally or emotionally prepared to deal with Claire. I'm sure there was other stuff that happened, but that's There's some
To quit my mom's note.
Dale.
I tried.
Dale
Mhm.
lifted some weights, set some PKs.
Yeah, PKs.
Not prison
I tried-
gangs, some personal bests,
Yeah.
PBs, my bad. Whatever those things.
Fake
I don't
gym
do
bro.
And
Fake gym bro indeed.
Fake gamers, fake gym bros. There really is no winning. Whoa.
um
Oh, yeah.
Get learned.
and
Get
mitochondria
learned indeed.
hasn't been messaging, so I messaged her, and she's too busy to talk to me.
Good.
And she said she's having a bad time, so we wanted to check in. Friendly reminder to us, we wanted to check in on that crew today.
True.
Because she's
I
a
wanted to
group
see
with
what Knight's
99.
up to.
Indeed. Well done, my little gamers. Alan, take a cookie. Thank you for your
Thank you.
thorough recapery. How do I say this? I'm gonna swap the music. Chill the very chill music.
Don't kill.
It's dead. A little bit of time passes. You've been attending a couple more of your classes, following up, but you know today and marked on your calendar is the day of your first mission, which could mean anything. You've been given very little details as far as what that will be, but you receive an early morning message on your compcons to meet in the bridge of your ship when able. You wake up in your respective rooms, you eat a quick breakfast, and you quickly notice that Garrett or Jester is not there. And he's also not there when you check on his room.
Out of game.
Yeah.
Is this because Dale is not joining us today, or
Yes.
okay.
But it was going to happen
Maybe-
sooner or later, so it's kind of convenient that it happens now.
No, my
This is
king.
something that we can investigate.
Don't worry. But yes, no, one of our players is dealing with a family issue, so he will not be here with us today. But it's okay.
My king.
He won't die. He'll just have some things happen in the background.
Wait,
Probably.
wait. I have.
You have?
um,
What do you have?
something maybe I need to look.
I think I may also have something maybe for this exact moment.
Yes.
I also need to go back.
I was like, this relates to his rumor, but I don't remember what it is.
That's okay. I'm going to play the
Rumor
radio in
was
the
that
background.
he has too many medical appointments.
Welcome to your Station 14 News, your premier network for all things across the galaxy. My name's Michael.
Our
Yeah,
soul-
no, I guess like
It's a
we
recording,
check?
that's not me.
Oh.
He's not. Are you playing something?
You hear the radio and or the news terminal in the background. You can listen if you want, but it's really just me talking for a minute and a half.
The Academy itself and its headmaster are under immense pressure to provide information.
Should we listen to his characters?
You can.
Forthcoming with any statements other than an internal inquiry on the status of the investigation.
This is the news?
Rumor has it that the attack came from the inside, and that
It
this
is.
while others say that this is an external faction promoted by this
I think.
menace. That being said, some of the reported attacks of the Android faction now are very disparate, and there's not much connecting the 2 or 3 known items. And even then, a lot of it can be dismissed as hearsay or rumor. In other news, if you live out in the RimWorlds, you may find yourself in a bit of a pinch. With local embargoes, standard goods from GMS have been unable to reach some of the more remote RimWorlds, leaving some colonies and some factions to be at a severe deficit of food, water, and critical supplies. Some of the higher embassies have been looking to remedy this discussion, but as of late there have been no progress. That being said, those underhanded factions and those who permit less than legal activities have made a significant increase in business due to the demand, if you want. Looking upwards, tensions are high across aristocratic factions, with the recent summit ending in what some would consider a brawl and others would consider a bloodbath. Families across the galaxy are nervous for their standing, That being said, some of the big three, to include subsidiaries from the GMS faction, have laid strong claim to some disparate family branches. This could lead to an absorption or an amalgamation of different subsidiary families, or possibly a hostile takeover. But we'll resort to our political expertise down at the Academy and our significant consultants in order to provide more feedback on that. I've been Michael, and welcome to Station 14 News. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
And you just sort of hear that message loop a little bit on the radio as you were eating breakfast.
All things across the galaxy. My name is Michael, and welcome to the show.
We don't need to listen to that again.
I did miss the first 40 seconds of it.
Oh, then I'll just play it. That's fine. But essentially,
Yeah, we got, well, yeah, the first 40 seconds is kind of a recap of how things are happening in the school, and that's, and how there was an attack, but no one's saying anything about what it was. An android attack specifically. Did you caught the second half though about GMS and?
No, I missed the GMS bit. What was that?
Oh, okay. GMS is there's some supply chain issues to the outer colonies, and
Got it.
now there's smaller and not necessarily as legal, somewhat maybe black market suppliers are profiting off of the
Got it.
the lack of GMS supplies making it out there. So
Got it. Thanks.
something's going on with the family business.
whoa,
I know. I'm gonna text him.
text.
Which is a really great question that I have for you, kind DM.
Oh.
Might I say you're looking very lovely today. This is not at all me sucking up to you in hopes of a favor. How easy is it for me to get in touch with my parents?
I mean, it's not hard to send an email or a text message. CompCons and the OmniNet bridge the galaxy, so it's really easy to contact. The question is, how likely are they to respond? And I suppose that is a question for your character. Is do you think they would respond? I would ask, because I know we talked about it a little bit. You can try shooting a message and we can see what happens.
Yeah, I think with the relationship that they have, I don't think that they would necessarily answer at the drop of a hat.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that if I were to send a message, I could expect a reply back in a business day.
One to two to 3 business day response.
2 to 3 business days. No.
Yeah,
I think
they're
more
very
of,
busy
2
people,
to
I
3
imagine.
business days is actually too long, but yeah, when they were able to, I think that they would reply.
Okay. You can shoot them a quick message if you want to tell me or chat it out. It doesn't really matter. But yeah.
Yeah, I think I would send something, and I'll say it for the sake of the stream.
The stream.
But yeah, I would say something to the effect of father, enter. I heard something on the radio regarding supply chains with GMS not being able to reach outer colonies. Can you share more details on that? Question mark.
That's it.
Anything, and also anything I can do to help, let me know.
You shoot this message off. Bloop.
Yours truly, your son.
Your son, your only son.
It's a full proper email.
Yeah. Very respectfully, Dominic Aurelian.
Yep.
You shoot this message off. You see it's the transmission signal, and you know it's out somewhere on the OmniNet, heading back towards your home planet, and you're just waiting for a response now. The rest of you.
I put my phone down. I'm not expecting a reply immediately.
Yeah. Okay. The rest of you.
Does my parents definitely do not have mark as read turned on or whatever to call
Yeah,
it.
read receipts.
Show that you've read it. Red receipts, thank you. I couldn't remember the name of it.
Absolutely. Do you
Definitely
have
don't
red
have those.
receipts on?
No.
Spicy. All right then. The rest of you have a little bit of time before the briefing officially starts. You're sort of finishing up breakfast. Some of you are going to look for clues on Jester.
I would like to text my parents.
Text your parents. Okay. What are you saying to them? Everyone's sending messages home. Also,
I just want to.
That's a
I
thing.
I'm not.
I think I pull up my ComCon and I see like the last couple of messages they've sent that I haven't really replied to out of just kind of being busy, and I just kind of go like I think I probably text Pops, and I'm like, hey y'all, just heard on the news about some supply chain issues out on the Rim Worlds. Have y'all been affected? Question mark. Love. Let me know if I can be of help from here. And I just like send that off to them.
Okay. Anyone else?
Oh, I because
Text
I am
your
an orphan.
mom.
No. I do want to look into Jester.
What are you going to do? You're breaking into his room, stealing his clothes?
I'm assuming that we've checked his room.
Yeah,
Can
it's what you expect and what you've seen of it. It's very neat, kind of orderly, very simple. Not a lot of decorations going on. At least I believe that's what it would be.
Can I hack and basically
Whoa.
like use this world's version of Find My Friends?
You're trying to like see if he has his location on at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, roll me a hack check.
I get +4 to that now.
Oh wow. Aren't you so cool?
I'm just really excited about it.
Hack away, gamer.
Well, shoot.
+4. Sorry, my body.
That sucks.
His location does not pop up. It looks like he's deliberately turned off location markers for the time being. Like you can tell that they're off, and so you have no idea, no posts, nothing indicating where or when he might have gone. But it must have been early in the morning, because
Can I look at his Google Calendar?
you can look at his Google Calendar. It's blank. His legally distinct Google Calendar, Google. No, there's nothing on the calendar. I mean, there was some mission briefing at early in the morning that you're about to go to, but there's nothing on plan for him.
For clues in his room?
Sure. I will say this. It's kind of the same thing you looked at initially. There's not much going on in his room. His bed was made, so he didn't leave in a rush, and everything's sort of in its place. It was like it's almost as if he never slept to begin with, which is, not to be true because he left. You all went to bed about the same time, or you saw each other at dinner. Okay.
Well, shoot. I report that and I say, well, he's gone.
He's dead.
I'm
What?
gonna
What do you
say
mean he's gone?
I can
I didn't
imagine
say.
he's gone.
Rip.
Yeah, I couldn't find his location, and his room is scrubbed.
Gross.
Not scrubbed, but like clean. I heard this thing from around that he has a bunch of medical appointments. I don't know if you guys heard that.
No. Huh.
Rude.
I don't know.
Why?
Maybe that has something to do
Like he
with
regularly has a lot of medical appointments? What do you
So,
mean?
When
Who'd you hear
we
this
were in the
from?
cafeteria- when we were in the cafeteria, I heard people talking, and they were saying that he has like a lot of medical appointments, like more than seems appropriate. I don't know what that means, and I really didn't listen very much because it was just random people talking. But I don't know. maybe they know something about him from home.
Home.
You remember who it was?
Out of character, this is the rumor that I got.
Yeah.
I know. I'm sorry. I
How dare you break
My
character?
A rumor.
this is also out of character.
Yes.
I'm thinking this is maybe a thread we could pull in game to like somewhat investigate and try to figure out what's up with him.
I mean, the place to start would be the place that, like, he's probably got a lot of medical appointments with the local doctor or nurse provided by the Valkyrie.
That would also, I think, be a good place to look.
Yeah.
Would just be like go to the medical ward and see if he's there.
Dean, did I hear this from a specific person, or
Not that you remember. A lot of hearsay. I mean, he's not from a noble faction, so you don't have any background information on him. At least it's not publicly available. So this is, like you said, overheard in the cafeteria, just in the halls. Nobody that you remember, at least. It was in passing, I would say. If that makes sense.
Mhm.
Wow. Okay.
can we stop by like the infirmary before we go to our mission briefing?
Your mission briefing is on your ship and in about 15 minutes.
Oh, well,
You have a medical bay. It is currently unstaffed, as we've established. The medical bay on the Valkyrie is likely open, but it is a trip away. It is on the main ship itself.
assuming he's not.
Alright,
Can
well,
we
maybe-
check our medical bay?
Yeah, you poked your head in there. The lights are
Not-
off. It's not been used. There's like a thin layer of dust on the facility that's being gently swept up by the Autobots, the auto cleaning, not the Transformers.
Autobots.
You see a large mech sweeping the floor in a maid costume.
That's lit, honestly.
Yeah.
Can
He turns into a
I-
van.
terrifying.
Terrifying.
Before we start, can I
Mhm.
go down to the garage? I don't remember what it's
Garage.
called.
Yeah,
And
Hangar?
yeah, that's what it is.
that works.
And
Ow.
ask Cauliflower if she saw him
Oh.
leave.
What? She looks up. She's
Right.
like neck deep in a mech right now, like working.
Hey, did you see Jester leave this morning She's not-
Mm,
for our mission briefing?
No. We did have like a shuttle delivery for some like mech parts, but I didn't see anybody leave on it.
What time was the delivery?
Like 3 in the morning?
Well, why are we having stuff delivered at 3 in the morning? That's its own question. But
I don't know. It woke us
Okay.
all up.
thank you.
Okay, are you okay?
And it just dropped stuff off and left?
It was all handled automatically. I was checking the crates this morning when you guys came in.
Came in the crates. Just upgrade stuff?
Stuff for your next mission, which I think your briefing starts soon, right?
Yeah, we're just... We Jester's not here, so
Oh.
we're just trying to run him down.
No, I haven't seen him. Have you checked the medical base?
Well, we checked this one, but...
Hmm.
Would it be possible,
Yeah.
Dean... Would it be possible
What?
for me to hack?
Collie.
Hack cauliflower?
Hack
Oh,
cauliflower.
No, would it be possible for me to hack into, like, the cameras? Check the medical bay on the big ship?
Yeah, you can try. It'd be a remote thing, but yeah, give it a shot, and then we'll move on, because you're gonna be late if you do any more, and then you'll be expelled, and or just killed.
No.
What is that?
10.
A 10? That's a pass.
I'm not rolling well today.
But 10 is good. We like 10s.
10 and up is a pass.
It's not like a runaway success.
You quickly skim through the camera feeds. You see nothing on your carrier, but you notice it's almost as if it's been scrubbed, as if there was instead of a timer feed, it's been replaced with a small 30-second loop of the empty halls. So it's clearly been tampered with. Looking at the Valkyrie itself, you sort of peer into the much larger medical bays, which is designed to house like a couple teams at a time, the ones you were in after your initiation. And you see the nurse that you was tending to earlier sort of shuffling around, cleaning, before you see nothing. You don't see Jester at all. This video footage has not been tampered with, the one on the Valkyrie. But the one on your ship has been.
What the fuck?
Jester doesn't strike me as someone who's very tech savvy, so
Who the fuck touched our ship?
yeah, I don't like that. Thanks, cauliflower.
Hmm. I hope you find him.
Me too.
Hope you find your dad.
I hope you find your dad.
Sorry.
Amazing.
You can always count on me to quote ridiculous Disney things from films that are way too old.
Don't worry, we're all getting old.
Oh well.
None of us are young.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
It is what it is.
Man. Okay, well, I can't help but wonder if we should just wait until after the briefing and then go and see if he's on the Valkyrie. It doesn't seem to be anywhere on this ship.
Yeah, we don't have time to run
Monkey-
this down like that.
Monkey wants to ask Nemesis and go, old Disney movies? What's Disney?
Oh. Did you
Peasant.
not have access to
Films
the global archive growing up?
Not
It's
in,
on.
not
it's
in the
on
Outer
Poop.
Rim.
Poop has it for you.
Oob.
Poop has it for you. Sorry,
Poop?
please stop. Keep going.
I don't know the joke you're making. I'm sorry.
know.
It's fine. Yeah.
I've never
No,
had. I guess we never did movie nights.
Oh well, you missed out. I'll tell you. Sometime we should do a movie night. There's this great old movie. It's called Toy Story 67. Oh man, absolute classic.
It's the only one that survived.
They
the
really
destruction of
picked
Cradle.
up somewhere around the 40s, and they were like really turned into some pretty good alien action movies. And yeah, I think you'll enjoy it.
Monkey just says, and he's like, all right.
Okay.
Alright,
Not
well,
convinced, but if
geez.
you say so.
Damn, without the team leader, this
Listen,
team
man,
is
this
just
is
falling
part of my
apart.
childhood. I'm nostalgic.
Hey. Oh yeah, wait, he's our team leader. Can we even go to this briefing?
My king.
You can
Someone has
find
killed
out.
my king.
Regicide.
No,
TBT.
we should go. We're gonna be late.
You make your ways upstairs. And you enter the bridge. It's the same sort of thing. You see, sort of standing at the head is your instructor Eclipse, looking unusually cognizant at the moment. She has a mug of something steaming in her hands. And she sort of looks at you and gives you like a curt nod and is like, "Where's the fourth?"
Was kind of hoping you might know.
We should have talked about this before we came in. Should we cover for him?
Oh, well, kind of blew that.
It
Oh, well,
seems
Sorry.
we're not really confident about what happened to him, but it seems that it's not off the table that he was taken. Raven looked into some footage and it ended up being scrubbed. So it seems somebody has modified the cameras on the ship.
Okay. we'll have to dig into this, but the mission has to go on. We are on a timeline, unfortunately.
Gotcha.
We'll
Okay.
look into this. That being said, I hope you're ready to take notes. And she takes a sip of her coffee, it seems
Ooh,
to be.
Can I ask a quick clarifying question before we get into this?
Sure.
The loot that I found, is that at the same time the shuttle was here?
Yeah.
And that was at like 3:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure he'll be fine. This is a professional school, of course. But let's get through the official part of the briefing, and then we'll do some research on our side, okay? Okay. Lancers, your mission briefing is as follows. You'll be heading to the rim world planet of Kushin, the mining planet that's relatively barren with limited colonies around it. However, you'll be specifically going to colony number 17, which is a copper mining and refining colony. Heavy focus on the refining. Your mission is to make contact with the local governance of colony 17 and restart copper production for the town in order to enable good trade with the other factions and also support the Valkyrie itself with raw resources. You're going to be shuttled down to the outskirts of the colony, go on foot to reach the colony itself, and then meet with the mayor, and then go from there with his directions. For this mission, you'll be provided some external and additional equipment. You'll be each provided one set of deep core mining explosives and one life support augmentation pack, which is mostly comprised of oxygen tanks. It is very likely you'll be going deep underground. You'll be reporting to the engineering bay downstairs for your mission items, get them fitted to your mechs, and go from there. I'll be your handler for this mission, and I will be on call with support from your carrier for the time being. What did you guys name it again? I forgot.
We're the journeymen.
Yes.
Infernal Engine.
The Infernal Engine. That's what it was.
I keep forgetting how good of a name that is.
I know, it's so good that no one remembers it.
Yeah.
We never remember.
The Infernal Engine will be in low orbit around the ship and will have good comms with you. However, do expect degraded comms as you go below Earth. It may cut off, but we'll be providing augmentation and surveillance support from the time being. Keep in good communication with us. Given that there is no current team leader for this mission, I hope you have a second in mind to have open comms. If we have comms quiet for more than 30 minutes without a check-in, we're going to assume something's gone wrong and send down a strike force to rescue you. Are there any questions at this time? And I know this is like your second briefing, but you should ask questions.
I'll bring in Omni Hook to I'll bring in Omni Hook for the sake of making sure that even though we're going underground, maybe that'll reinforce our ability to communicate.
That's a good idea. What questions do you have?
What's the resource that they're mining?
It's a copper mine and refinement facility. I'm tracking most of their buildings are underground, or at least their factory buildings are underground to protect from some of the high desert winds. And she does show you sort of like
has shut down. The refineries are currently not
operating.
Operating.
As far as we have been told, yes.
Are there known hostiles?
Not that we're aware of. The initial report is full of superstitions, so whether or not that's a paracausal entity or something internal is unknown and will be up for you to determine.
Sorry, what do you mean paracausal entity?
So, paracausal entities are those that would fall into the category of NHP. So those beings from the parallel or alternate or linear universes alongside our own that are chained, shackled, and then trained to emulate human minds. That being said, there are entities outside of what we understand, and quite frankly, things get really weird out there. So,
wait, well, we think that maybe the report was written by these paracausal entities?
No, this was definitely
Or-
written by the local governance, but some of the local colonists have fallen onto superstitions, which could possibly indicate the presence of a paracausal entity causing havoc. An unknown paracausal entity, at the very least.
And that's November Hotel Papa, right?
NHP, correct.
Thank you.
You can actually look this up in the compendium, and it'll give you a brief
non-human
overview.
persons, right?
Yep. Which essentially replaced AIs after AIs kind of went rogue and destroyed a lot of things. It happened a while ago.
Right, because they're not really artificial intelligences.
No, they are legitimate
something.
other dimensional beings that are trained to behave like humans.
Yeah. Whack.
The development of NHPs is something that is usually reserved for a higher level or a second year class because it is considered dangerous at times. But if you are interested, we could look at scheduling you some additional lessons. It is not my area of expertise, but there are people who are trained in this.
Can you repeat the tech that we're getting? We're getting oxygen tanks. and-
Oxygen tanks / life support systems, as well as deep core mining explosives. Cauliflower will have everything downstairs for you and can give you a more detailed breakdown.
What was the last thing you said? Oxygen tanks, life support systems.
Deep
There's one
core
more.
mining explosives.
Are we, sorry if I missed this, are we going in our mechs, or this is more of a pilot's mission?
You will have your mechs with you. I'm tracking that the mines have heavy duty equipment, so you should be able to operate your mechs within those areas. However, there are going to be buildings and civilian infrastructure that I encourage you to not walk your mech through, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Also,
Yeah,
given
we want to...
make a
we
good
wanna keep
impression
it.
and not point weapons of mass destruction at the local population. Generally causes problems, especially in the outer rims. Mechs are a rarity.
We'll do. We'll not do.
Hmm.
We'll make sure we don't point them.
Please.
We'll have them, but we won't want them.
The paperwork
tell us-
involved is disastrous.
Can you tell us more about the environment on the surface and then underground?
As far as the surface goes, we understand. And she pulls up a map and she basically shows you like this brown, like dirt ball of a planet, and it zooms in on where you'll be going, the colony. Essentially, from what we understand, actually, I can show you the map because I drew this last night in a fevered haze.
How many fevers do you have?
It's many. It's basically
Couple.
never ending. A small village style building at the. Oh, how do I pull you guys over? Activate. Oh, wrong one. I'm sorry. I'm learning.
We were there.
I know. I figured it out. Desert planet, scattered buildings, a lot of temporary kind of shelters. This is not a new colony, but the resources to build hardstand and lasting buildings is not exactly abundant. It's primarily an export colony. You're looking at rough terrain on the surface, but mostly dirt, comprised of some sort of iron and copper dust trace elements, leading to its sort of red hue. The mountains themselves tend to block views and funnel winds into dust storms that sort of travel across the planet. It is very dry. There is no active water source except for those deep underground. So it has to be mined and tapped for the colonists to provide, or have it airdropped in.
And then underground, it's
A lot of dense rock. One would assume to be sedentary based on some of the reports. It looks like this was an ocean planet at one point in time, but leading to a large, layer of mineral-rich resources, or mineral-rich rocks down below. From what we understand, the local mine here is divided into 3 layers, with the first being a living quarters / storage area, the second being the factory itself, and the third being the mines, where it's deep enough to actually hit these veins. With, again, some like families and such living on the surface. Any other questions?
why are we getting oxygen tanks?
you'll be going deep underground. In case that you get cut off or the air supply gets cut off, you'll want to have something that extends your life, quite frankly.
But
It's
like the
yeah.
air itself is fine to breathe. In general.
It's fine to breathe, yes. No issues with that from what we understand, but do be aware things could change underground. It is not uncommon to accidentally break into a pocket of natural gas. Or worse, water or oil.
What are the colonists like? Are they like mostly like young?
Industrious is a mining colony. The families themselves tend to be, because there are so few colonies on this, there's not much interaction with the outside world, so it's a very closed off community. And some of it might be superstition based on their initial reports and intelligence, but nothing outright hostile. But then again, this is 17 of about 50 colonies on this planet spread across the world, so their interaction with other people is very limited, aside from the shipments.
And like, in terms of the makeup, they're like families. Like
Families. It's been around for about 100 years or so, so this is about the third generation of colonists, third or fourth generation of colonists. So it's an established families, but yeah, not terribly old in terms of the galaxy.
Okay. This isn't necessary, but I'm a little concerned about their reproduction. It sounds like they don't get a lot of new people coming to this colony.
They do not.
What are their precautions around incest? How are they diversifying the gene pool?
It is about a small village of
How'd they
about
get to the third generation?
1,000 people. So it's not. It's enough that there is a gene pool. There are, from what we understand, governance. What's the word? Laws.
It's not relevant. I was just like,
There are standard
Monkey-
colony protection policies in place to prevent incest. However, with things on the remote worlds, sometimes without oversight, things get weird.
Monkey also goes, the assumption that everybody on the Rim world is just fucking their cousins is crazy.
assumption.
Microaggressions
In the
in my
briefing.
Lancer game.
In the briefing, it was like, this is a really cut off, closed off community. Anyway, they're on the third generation, and I was like,
Yeah, but a cut off, closed off community could be a population of 10,000 just because
Yeah,
they're.
I
Just
was
'cause they're-
thinking. They said small, so I was thinking like 100.
A typical colony
1,000
force would be
makes more
about
sense.
10,000 people. This one's about 1,000.
Holy shit! Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially for a mining colony. This is not small. Don't think like D&D fantasy of like groups of 50 people. Think like space of like there's a fuckload of people. Sci-fi levels of colonization. Dude. Are there any other questions? These are good questions. I encourage you to keep asking because you will have direct comms with me, but this is your best chance to get information now and prepare yourselves accordingly. Because when you're down there, we won't be able to supply you with resources. You'll have to scrounge everything yourself.
You mentioned that the colonists probably have never seen a mech.
They have working mechs for labor,
Sure.
but in terms of military grade equipment, very unlikely they've had contact. This area does not have many issues with piracy or banditry, so it's very unlikely there's been like high grade weapons of war seen.
Got it. And they are expecting us?
The
Question mark?
mayor is, at the very least. I encourage you to approach on foot and leave your mechs out of sight initially,
Okay.
but it is up to you. This is your mission. The only pass or fail, as far as your grades are concerned, is whether the mission is complete and there's no dramatic loss to infrastructure or people's lives, unnecessary lives.
We quantify dramatic loss.
I'd generally like you to not destroy the places where people live in. I would like you to
Okay.
not destroy the copper production infrastructure that would cause them to lose their way of life. and I would like you to not kill anybody who is not actively trying to kill you, because this is a relatively small colony, and it would damage the relations with the Valkyrie and put a bad name to any of your future missions, because killing civilians is generally considered a bad move across the galaxy.
Yeah.
Especially with military-grade weapons. It's not very pretty.
Understood.
Yes.
Local flora, local fauna. What can we expect on this planet? Anything at all? The way you
Nothing.
described it has made it sound like there's nothing.
It's very barren. Nothing that you should be concerned with. Microbiological life forms sort of on the surface, and possibly some within the water reserves down below, but nothing in terms of megafauna or anything larger than like an insect. Small insect, not like killer bugs. Thankfully, not a problem in this area.
Okay. How reliable is this intel? I have a thing against spiders.
You'll be dealing with house
Hot
spiders.
off the presses.
Hot off the presses. Essentially, yes. This is what our recent pull of intel is. If anything's changed, it's changed in the last 24 hours, or in terms of the broad culture, within the last 3 months. But in terms of biological life forms, unless somebody's been doing freaky experiments down there, which happens, I will admit, you should expect no fauna. Or flora, too, really. I'm told the cave moss there is very delicious.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Any other questions?
Dun, dun, dun.
Can I just why
Mhm.
why does the Valkyrie care about this particular mine? Is this just a job? Do we have vested interest in the resources?
Both. The copper production does parts of the copper production do directly supply the Valkyrie for our mechanics, electronics, and such. So this planet is one of our main producers. That being said, one colony out of 50 or more, it is what it is, but this is something we'd like to, a relationship with the planet and its inhabitants that we'd like to preserve. That being said, a lot of these missions that you'll be doing is going out and helping various associates of the Valkyrie. So the better relations you foster now, there's a chance you might run into these people again. I encourage you to not burn bridges when able.
Got it.
Ah, water. Any other questions? And she's like genuinely asking at this point. This is a learning opportunity. I want you to go in prepared.
I know this is a little bit cheating,
Mhm.
but are there any questions you're disappointed we haven't asked?
She sort of gives you like a smile. That's part of the learning experience.
Fair enough.
You haven't asked anything that would get you killed, which is the only thing I'm concerned about, or severely wounded. But keep your minds open.
Say that again?
You haven't missed anything that would get you killed. You've asked the relevant questions that you think are possible, and you've covered everything that might be a threat to you.
I'm
Got it.
understanding now.
For your
Got it.
first mission, I will say there's nothing that we're aware of that would be immediately hostile or dangerous. This should be a very simple diplomatic mission, maybe putting down some pests or possibly dealing with some road bandits of whatnot. Something that's well within your purview. If things change, report it. And if you need support, request it.
What do we know about the mayor?
Older part of the second generation of colonists, elected position, generally liked across the colony. It's impossible to please all 1,000 or more population, but no issues from what we've heard, and we've had good communication with this man. This is the first time he's requested support from the planet and the Valkyrie as a whole.
Got it. All right, I am out of questions.
Okay. Anyone else?
I think I'm also out of questions.
Sorry.
How do we? I guess actually one question.
Oh.
How do we know how they feel about outsiders? Period.
Generally amicable. They have contact, but they tend to keep themselves. Nothing outright hostile from our last interactions.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, I guess that kind of falls under no known hostiles, but
Good question, Sal.
Okay.
Anything else?
how do they feel about rich kids?
I mean, I can answer
I
that.
know that about you unless you tell them.
I
No,
know.
no. They would
It's
know
on
that
my
about
face.
him.
It's written on my face. Is it not? Is it not, Monkey?
Monkey goes, yeah, absolutely.
I'll let you answer
they
that
would
question
know.
yourself.
Yeah. Okay. It
Um,
was kind of rhetorical. I know that I expect them to dislike me.
they would have a chip on their shoulder about you. They have the assumption, maybe some of us in this room share, that you have never had a solid day's worth of work.
Said I've broken a sweat before.
Yeah, at the gym. Sorry,
Whoa.
that was uncalled. Sorry, that was uncalled for. My bad.
Yeah, you guys really need your team leader.
My king.
I love the idea that Monkey was like, "You've never worked a day in your life," and Dom was like, "I have sweat before." Like, that's not the same.
It's not. But the interpretation was very much intended to be, you've never done manual labor.
You working.
Which his response was, I've sweat before, which also is not the same thing.
No.
It's perfect.
It's
I
not.
love that.
It's deliberate. I'm playing an asshole.
Role play.
Whoa.
Wait, did that extend to others? I feel like that's not.
Well, that concludes the formal portion of the briefing, and she like immediately takes a seat, pulls out a flask, and starts dumping something into her coffee. All right, have fun,
Someone's
kids. Don't die. Call me if you need anything. Remember, check in every 30 minutes.
Are we checking in with you or someone else?
Me. I'll be your handler. I'll be at the bridge the entire duration of the mission and on active comms the entire time. If there's something you don't know, call up and ask. Do not try to handle things. I mean, handle things alone. If we have to step in for a reason that's not genuinely life or death, it's going to be considered a fail for this mission. Does that make sense? This is a test of your ingenuity and problem solving.
Yeah, that makes sense.
However, if it is life or death, please do call, because a failed raid is a lot easier to remedy than somebody losing a head or life. Generally messy.
Something, don't get shot in the head.
Yeah, please don't get shot in the head.
Is
Anything
there
else?
more than one elevator shaft?
No, from what I understand, this colony only has the one. There may be others, but from our last intel poll of a few months ago for the layout of this place, just the one. I'm tracking it's like key-carded and secured, so the different echelons are locked, so that way children and random people don't end up going into what is an industrial zone, but they might have changed how things work on Will and Y'all good?
I don't love that there's only one mine shaft either, for what it's worth, Raven, but
One way in and one way out. One way in and one way out is. Don't love.
it's a recipe for disaster.
I think you'll
Yeah.
find that a lot of remote colonies tend to have that cost-effective mindset, something that is decided locally and not
They're
always.
cost effective. That's just bad planning.
Yeah, where's the risk assessment?
Yeah, like if
You are
if
more than
something
welcome to
happens-
ask the mayor how he runs his
Will
business.
do.
However, I would ask you not to be
We were
surprised.
just told to keep a good relationship.
I go in there and be like, "Hey, asshole."
You
But-
can.
Right.
There are tactful ways to inquire why there's only one mine shaft.
What
Listen,
happens
you might
if
do
something
that. I don't
happens to the
know.
mine shaft? Like, you're losing the entire investment.
Now, I know this might be just because the two of you are from the nobility side, but I hope you're not surprised because you'll see this a lot in the Rim Worlds.
Clear. I am technically nobility, but I'm a nobility from an outer world.
And this is surprising to you that people are valuing cost and output over
No, but
people?
what I'm saying is that it's not cost effective.
Do you know how expensive it is to install an industrial elevator?
Do
In
you know
data mine
how
shaft?
expensive it is to build a whole new mine?
Yeah, that listen, I don't mean to call you out. I'm just saying we're about to go meet a lot of people who don't have a lot. That question
I'm
right
gonna say
there.
this. I'm not gonna say this then. I'm just saying.
I'm just going to think it very loudly.
Well, but coming in with the assumption that you know how to run their mind better than they do is exactly the type of thing that's gonna not enamor them to us.
I know
We're
how
gonna
to run
come
this
down.
mine.
We're gonna come
I'm
down.
saying-
We're gonna fix their problem, and then but the whole time they're gonna be pissed that we're there. It'd be nice if they weren't pissed that we were there.
I'm not planning on talking much at all. All I'm saying is that these people aren't the ones that built the mine. And I think they're getting... am I wrong? Actually, like, out of character. I'm assuming this was built by a corporation. I'm assuming this is a company town.
Yeah, basically. But they are a part of the company in essence. Or at least 3 generations ago, they built the mine.
Sure.
Okay, then never mind. I thought that this was a sort of like a company came in, built the mine, and then staffed it with people.
No, this
That's
is a
not-
mining colony established about 100 years ago to
now I
mine.
understand. Now this makes more sense. Because I was like, if they built this mine for like, if like a company came in, built this mine, and then staffed it with people, why wouldn't they build a failsafe? Now I understand. It makes sense.
That is a good question why they've never upgraded. If this mining town has been relatively steady in terms of profit, however, that is not under our jurisdiction. She like takes a heavy sip of her now very interesting coffee blend.
Are there personnel tunnels out?
What do you mean?
I guess I'm confused as to whether or not there is only one way in and out. Period.
From what
Is
I
it, you're
understand,
saying it's an
yes.
industrial elevator,
Mhm.
but is there a shaft like with a stairwell for people?
There should be a safety stairwell. However,
Okay,
I
that's-
have not personally inspected that. Generally speaking, the cargo elevator is when you're moving things like loader mechs and containers, you're not going to be moving those up a staircase. That being
think
said,
all the
have we
thing I was-
personally inspected to make sure they've maintained said staircase over the past 100 years? Unfortunately, no.
This is the problem. Is that Alan, am getting hung up on the fact that there's no safety, there's no like OSHA certified safe exit point for people as well. And
Welcome to the
this is
dystopian
tax
future, motherfucker.
OSHA in the Rim Worlds.
Obviously, the people
That's
who,
some
who
core-
made this
That's
mine
some core world
did not
bullshit.
grow up hearing about Centralia.
They did not. Absolutely did not. This is
listen.
Like
It's
some of
fine.
us. did.
GMS subsidiary that's making money off of a mine in the middle of a barren planet under no government oversight.
Did hear about Centralia.
You can talk to them
Okay.
about it.
I'm not going to talk to them about Centralia.
Gather around, people of the village. I have a story to tell.
Once, long, long, long ago,
Once upon a
there was a
time.
fire.
Well, I will say this, Monkey. I think you should run point on this one because it's obvious that the two of us are coming in with some preconceived notions that, as you so accurately pointed out, will get us maybe in trouble with the locals.
I think heard, but also I think that as long as you remove what the right thing to do in the situation is and more so see it as what have they been doing to survive, because yeah, the answer is more money to do more things to make things safer, but that's not where they are right now. So if you don't assume that everything is incompetence and it's in fact just like survival, I think you'll be okay.
Noted.
Built this line, I have a very different opinion.
You see Eclipse sort of like lean
My mouth's
forward
shut.
and is so.
I thought it was
To
a
be
company town.
quite
Not a
frank,
company town.
whatever happens on the mission is what happens on the mission, right? You're here to learn how to be expert lancers, mech pilots, whatever your specialty is. As long as the mission details in the end state is met, you quote unquote pass. And again, also, a failed mission does not mean you're immediately expelled. There is a bit of a grace period. So if there is things that need to be fixed, by all means, but do it within your own power and do it within your own skill set if you feel so strongly about it. The Valkyrie is not here to teach you morals and teach you right from wrong. You are grown. You should be doing this on your own. If you need advice, we will advise, but this is your life. You're not going to have anyone hand-holding you when you leave or when you go out into the wider world. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Do what you have to down there. And let me know if you need anything. All good?
We're allowed to. At this point, we're like prepping for the mission, so we're
Yep.
like doing research and we're like changing up our mechs and stuff.
Yep, you will leave in about 12 hours. So do what you need to before the shuttle departs. Or before we leave orbit here and the shuttle itself takes you down to the planet Tushin.
Are we allowed to? I think we are, but I'm double checking.
Mhm.
We're allowed to change our gear
Yes.
and like mold it.
Anything within reason that's not special, but everything you have access to based on your licenses, you can just swap out. And Cauliflower will help you with that. And then basically any like pilot gear that you want, you can just resource. It's not the point of the game is not resource management for Lancer. It's do cool stuff and cool mechs, but you can only take what you can carry with you down to the planet. Anything else would have to be a separate request, and there's no guarantee you'll get it in time.
Point out or recommend that we all get the SSC Sith undersuit.
Oof. Yeah.
Sith
So
undersuit.
Agreed.
What is that? Is that
It
It's a player
it's a pilot
gear.
gear, but basically you can it can cover your head, sealing against a vacuum, providing protection against radiation, and filtering air liquids.
Oh, I see it. Yep.
And provide
Yeah.
the ability to breathe underwater for a limited amount of time.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Be pretty nice.
Yeah. I'm replacing my thermite charges with that. Yeah.
Gonna keep the patch and the data plating.
Yeah. I'll have mag clamps on.
For the Mac. Actually gotta look at what my CompCon. Man, this CompCon website always drives me a little nuts. Nothing is where I think it should be.
Yeah. Been there.
What?
with that, Eclipse sort of like waves you off as she kind of slumps in her chair. Have fun, kids.
Shit.
And you sort of make your way down to the engineering bay.
Mm.
Or the hangar.
See ya. Bye.
Hmm.
What is Cloud?
add a personal drone.
Ooh, fancy.
Because that could be nice to send into spots that we don't want to go ourselves.
Basically, everything you're requesting, Cauliflower sort of brings out. At some point, Roach is down there helping her out, just like you running the 3D printer while she's like helping you install parts. It's all pretty standard. But at a certain point, she does wheel out the additional life support tanks, as well as these large, heavy charges. And it's one for each of you. So
is that pilot equipment or is that mech equipment that charges?
The charges are mech equipment because they're too heavy to be generally carried. It will basically attach onto your back, taking no additional space, but you'll have to. These need to be manually operated on foot. They're basically like an upgraded thermite charge meant for drilling tunnels into the rock itself. In case you get trapped, this is your best bet to get out of a mine. The life support tanks are designed to work with your suits as well as your mech. In case you're running out, it provides a little bit of extra oxygen and pressure control, one for each of you as well. Essentially, it just should buy you some time should you run into any emergencies.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, be careful with the charges. They are meant to just like put a 50-foot hole in a solid rock. The blast could be disastrous if you are not in your mech or covered.
Great. Okay.
And we're not expecting to be in a low gravity situation.
No, the gravity on this planet is pretty standard, about 1.2 of what we standard. So a little heavier than normal, but you'll be fine otherwise.
Gotcha. I am going to continue to have the EVA module equipped, though, on my mech for what it's worth.
Okay.
I don't know that swapping that out necessarily makes sense.
Okay.
Question for you, as our kind of fearless leader here. Do you want us to be working on customizing our mechs out of the sessions here?
You're more than welcome to.
Or are you all right with us like spending time in effectively in the like in our time together to be discussing what we're bringing, what our loadouts are?
I'm fine either way. If you do it here, just talk about it, because I like hearing your thoughts out loud.
Gotcha.
And it's also good because you can
Okay.
bounce your ideas with, you can match and mix and match with your teammates. You can also do it offline. It doesn't matter. But if you do it here, just talk about it so I can understand what you're thinking. Or don't.
Yeah,
And be
that's fair.
surprised when you're wrong.
I added stable structure.
Mm-hmm.
to my
That's a good one.
I got rid of the one about low I think it's the evil module
Yep.
and something else. To add stable structure, which gives you +1 accuracy on saves to avoid being prone or knocked back.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I have a feeling we might be around some explosives.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Wait, did we learn why why they think that the mine is shut down and not operational? Or
No, that was not given to you. You'll have to figure that one out yourself. Oh, there we are. I have your pictures. I forgot to put you guys on screen. There we go. At least some of your pictures.
okay.
Yeah, I think the stable structure is a good idea.
As part of like getting ready, can I
Oof.
look at the report that they were talking about and try to do some research on the conspiracies,
Yeah,
Is
you
that
can
what you
try.
called them?
Roll me like
superstitions?
yeah, investigate something of the sort. or however so pleases you. Sorry. So, a lot of what you find is very similar to what was briefed to you earlier. In terms of superstitions, it's like ghosts, hauntings, like that sort of thing, which is pretty normal for like small colonies, especially remote colonies. Things that go bump in the night. There's a general energy of like don't stay out past dark because you don't know what happens, but there's nothing really concrete around that. At least not that you can find from your initial glance. It's given that this town is so small, there's not much published about it. So in terms of like finding information, you're pretty limited.
Yeah, I'm ready to roll.
With your mech,
Yeah.
I'm going to. So I swapped out. Sorry, I just can't remember the things that I've changed. Oh god damn it, back. Swapped out my personalization, the extra 2 HP, to grab the manipulators. Does anyone else have manipulators already?
Little grabby grabs.
Yeah, little.
I think I got rid of them for stable structure.
Okay. Okay, I think that that's probably worth having for the sake of being able to potentially manipulate things while we're still in our mech suits. I'm glad I'm all right picking that up for that, and I gotta swap out some.
I'm good to go. I also updated my
Met.
fountain.
Excellent. Good little gamers. Good.
I feel so powerful now that I know how to do it myself.
Okay. All the cool foreshadowing I was going to do is irrelevant because Dale's not here, so you're just going in raw.
Great.
Oh, no.
It's fine. You'll survive.
Weird.
All right. You have about 6 hours left from what's it called? Spend about 6 hours prepping your mechs. You grab some lunch / a late lunch, and then
Can we take a break before we?
yes, we can. What time is it now? Let's take a quick 7, and I'll be back right around the half hour. Be free.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello. Welcome back. I'm returned. Let's do things. You guys have finished modifying your mechs, or at least initiated it. You've got about 6 hours left before your departure. Is there anything else you want to do?
Have I received a response from my parents?
I was wondering the same question.
Oh. You do notice that your phone, both of your Comptons have gone off during the briefing while you were preoccupied.
I would like to turn it on.
Nemesis, yours. We'll go do yours first. You just get a simple message that just says, "Focus on your studies." No signature.
Okay.
Monkey. Yours, you immediately get a picture of your parents, basically like taking a selfie in like their greasy overalls, in front of what looks to be like some wild piece of machinery that they've been working on for like the last decade as a pet project. Smiling faces, and it's like, all good. And then there's the meeting of the triage of, how have you been? Have you made any friends? What's school like? It's the same messages you've been ignoring for like the past like few days, few weeks.
You've been ignoring
I'll take some.
your parents? Wow.
Mallory, how about you get some parents? All right.
I'm working on it.
I'm working on it.
Working on it.
Yeah, I just we don't gotta. I just start like acquiescing to their asks, and I just start. Yeah, it's been going great. You know, and I just give them the like basic like it's been going great. I sidestep the question. I'm like, I have a team.
I have associates.
Yeah.
Excellent. But no, you go back and forth for a little bit, and yeah, they're super excited to hear from you. And see what you're up to, making it out there in the bid world. Great bid world.
I take some time to text them back, but until then, until then, I guess I just like find an opportunity to just kind of vibe and like just like have a beer on the couch or whatever, just watching the news.
Hell yeah. Anyone else doing anything? No. All right.
Yeah. I think.
Sorry.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
You enter the local drop pods. The infernal engine pulls away from the main carrier, from the main Valkyrie fleet, and you jump to a relatively nearby rimworld. You're not too far from the Valkyrie itself. You know this, like not the same system, but relatively close by. As the Valkyrie enters low orbit, you yourselves are in your mech drop pods, ready to go, and you hear over the intercom, "Pilots, you have 5 minutes until drop. Stand by." You see Roach in the engineering bay is like, "Any last minute things? This will be your first mission. It'll be very exciting, I'm sure.
Any tips? Anything we should
Don't
be worried
get
about?
shot in the head. Be nice.
Wow. Be nice. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy.
Yeah, pretty much. Generally, especially in the RimWorlds, people tend to be scared of mechs, so I don't use that for what you will. Not saying you should intimidate them into doing what you need them to do, but sometimes if people are being unruly, it does. Military weapons do tend to forcibly pacify people if they're being rowdy. Not recommended. Generally damages relations, but it is an option. And if you need help, call up. We have some drop pods we can send supplies down with, but otherwise you're on your own. Okay. Very exciting. Have fun, kids. You see Tolly sort of like waving at you. Cauliflower. Okay. With that being said, you did the green light. and your pods, with one more warning from Eclipse, shoot out of the ship. Let me change the music really quick. Sorry. As the pods rocket out of the infernal engine, you're sort of rattling as you go down, as you see your infernal engine get smaller, and this red planet gets bigger and bigger as you pierce through the atmosphere. Your guidance system sort of softly beeping as it locks you in towards where you see the colony on the map, and you land just on the outside of it with a thunderous crash, sending dust kicking up into the air. It's very likely that they noticed what just happened, because it's not easy to hide a mech drop, but at the same time, you are now safely disembarked on the planet. You step out in your mechs with your mechs, and if you choose to get out of your mech, the air itself is dry, sort of tangy, with sort of an acidic sort of bend to it when you breathe it in, but it is breathable. No immediate hazard signs, no immediate life forms nearby from your sensors. What would you like to do?
Do we have no signs of life on our sensors, but do we have like a map to
Yep.
the call? Yep.
Yep, you have a heading and a bearing. No issues with that. It's relatively flat, so you can see it.
Yeah.
Like, you crest the hill that you landed behind, and you can immediately see it like a half a mile off.
Yeah. When after a couple seconds, Monkey goes, everyone make it down all right?
Yeah.
Yep, we're here.
All right. And I mark our bearing and just start heading into the direction of Fudaman? Food.
What?
The mines. I'm trying to read the top of Forbin.
I guess
That's what that
Foreman.
says.
I guess
That's not
Foreman's
the name
house.
of the town, but it is now.
It is now.
Fordeman. Okay.
Yeah, I start heading in that direction.
You make your way to
And-
about like a couple hundred meters outside of the town. You see some people like poking their heads out of the buildings as these mechs sort of like walk up. But you do see someone at the head of the crowd who, not dressed like formally, but definitely has a small like ribbon on his chest dictating he is the leader and or mayor of the colony. And he sort of waves you over.
Great. I get out of my mech
Mm-hmm.
to walk the rest of the way. I tell my team, I'm like, I can talk with him one-on-one, if that makes sense to y'all.
Sure.
Sure. I
Great.
think that's probably for the best.
I will keep comms open so that they can hear the conversation.
Okay. You make your way over. He sort of extends a hand to shake yours.
I clasp his hand, and I tell him, Mr. Mayor, nice to meet you. I'm Monkey. How can we help you today?
The Lancers, right?
Yes.
Very
good. As he like, as Monkey just kind of like waves to the mechs behind him.
Yeah. Are those your friends over there?
Yes, they are.
Good.
He points to one. He goes, "That's Nemesis." He points to the other one. That's Raven.
Are they going to stay there, or do you want to step inside for some tea?
Oh, hey y'all. The mayor's inviting us for some tea. If anybody would like to get some tea.
Cool. I think
Uh,
I'll come for tea.
pops out of the
great.
mech and comes on over.
Yeah.
All right, they're on their way over.
He basically like shoots the crowd off. He says your mechs will be fine. Then no one will venture that far out for that. There's no reason to. And if they're locked, they won't mess with him as well. But he invites you into the main hall, and you pass sort of this tall bronze statue of what looks to be some important figure from a time long gone by, holding a sort of mining drill or spear of some kind. But he makes you into the main hall. In the lobby area, he has like one of the secretaries like bring you over a nice pot of tea. And he's like, coffee, either or. But please take a seat.
I'll grab T. Who's that figure with the drill, if you don't mind me asking?
One of the founders. Just name. Honestly, it might have been forgotten after some time. People move in and out, but it's one of the original colonists themselves. One who established the mine to begin with. But what have you heard of our little, how do you say, situation, I guess?
Well, we got briefed. We're told that you've got some sort of problem with the mines, and given that we value the relationship between your colony and our mechs, to be frank, we thought that we'd pitch in and lend a helping hand.
Essentially, yes, it's as such. The mines have been shut down for the time being. The workers refuse to work. What is claimed is the mines are haunted. Whether or not that's true, I have no exact truth. Last time I checked the mines about a month ago, there was nothing down there. So, not sure what's going on, but it's been a few months with no activity.
Yeah.
The foreman himself says that it's shut down for people's safety. There's been rumors of things going bump in the night. People don't stay out past dark, as he gestures to the setting sun. And the general populace has been terrified of something, like a boogeyman of some kind running around, moving things, like stealing children, which there have been no reports of anyone being kidnapped, but you know how rumors spread. Essentially, we'd like you to investigate the mines, put a stop to the quote-unquote ghosts, or whatever is stopping, or prove that there is nothing actually happening, and help establish order in the town so we can resume production and also our livelihoods. Does that make sense?
Sure. When did this happen? When did this start?
The mine itself shut down a month ago proper. The foreman officially closed it, saying it was unsafe. As far as the weird things happening around town, 3 to 4 months ago, things started happening, I will say. Yes, there have been things moving at night. A truck was not left where someone left it last. Keys have been stolen, and just generally weird happenings with electronics. It's almost as if like an EMP or something has been actively disabling it, but there's been nothing of the sort to indicate that. Whether or not it's just our aging equipment falling apart, or if it's something else, a lot of people's personal technology has been acting up, and a lot of people are claiming ghosts or something's haunted or something of the sort.
Just hoping it's not a ghost. I don't know how to shoot a ghost.
I'm fairly certain it's not, but if there is a tangible issue, I'd very much like you to deal with it, if that makes sense.
Sure. What are you expecting? Do you have any reason to suspect that your own colonists or a group of your own colonists are the ones causing this trouble?
It is a possibility. We have had a particularly rowdy bunch of children and teenagers, rebellious sorts, though no name has ever been pinned to them. Sort of the normal causing chaos. Those who aren't old enough to work yet tend to kind of be lax with their time when they're not in school, which it happens. It's kids. But I don't think there's anyone outright malicious there. If anything, it'd be the pranks of like stealing someone's keys or stealing the truck when nobody's looking. But nothing like actively harming people. And generally, the children don't go into the mines because it is restricted. The elevator is controlled by keycard access to keep people outside of it so they don't get hurt.
Got it.
But I don't believe it's internal or malicious. If the... You can talk to the foreman who oversees the mines and the rest of the working population. You could talk to the local clergyman who sort of oversees the rest of the population in terms of their emotional and spiritual health. But otherwise, no. We've been trying to look into this ourselves over the past month, but very little has come of it. So hopefully an external factor might be able to either get some answers or figure things out. As it stands, if it goes on for another week or so, we won't have the funds, and the colony might start to shipping people off world so they can, or people are going to continue leaving off world to find work elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we've got a couple places to start, and at the end of the day, we can also hit the mines themselves. I'm assuming we'll have access to the mines.
You'll have to speak with the foreman. He's the one that actually controls the mine keys themselves. But otherwise,
well.
yes. No one should impede you. Your unofficial business. And I just ask that if it does come to a head, keep structural damage to a minimum, because this equipment is old and it's not easy to replace, at least especially this far out.
Of course, of course. Did the mayor introduce himself by name?
Oh, sorry. My name is, oh god, what did I write down? Oh no. Ison. He's a
Right.
much older, sort of gray-haired man, and he's very tired in his appearance, it looks like. It definitely appears like he has not had very many restful nights recently.
Aw.
Thank you, Mayor Ison. We will do our best. We're gonna do what we can for you today.
I appreciate it. If you need any assistance from me, or if anyone is giving you problems, please let me know. But as it currently stands, my influence might be a little more limited than I'd like it to be.
No, we're all on the same page here. We want y'all to open up, and we also know that that's how y'all make your living.
For as long as your stay is, there's been a house set aside for you on the outskirts of towns, close to where you parked your mechs. You're free to use it, and he hands you like a small key card that'll give you access to it. It's not much, but at least should keep you sheltered from the wind and the sun. If you need
Thank
it.
you. I hand the key card to Raven.
Cool.
Wow. Well, if you have need of me, I'll be in my office. But try not to stay out too late. I think it would make the townspeople a little nervous if there's things actually running around at night.
We'll take that into account. We want to make sure that our stay here is smooth. We don't want to cause y'all undue stress.
We really do appreciate it. And with that, he sort of says, if you have need of me, then he walks off to his office and closes the door.
All right, fellas.
Gang.
First things first. I guess we'll talk to the foreman here.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
What's he got?
You walk your way across the town, and the sun has set at this point, so the town is empty. You see lights on in different huts, and sort of these houses are sort of temporary shelters, like containers that have been modified to have houses, or like containers that are dropped that aren't meant to be a house. But it's relatively spread out. There's only one or two buildings that are above 2 stories, and that's the main hall and then the church itself. Everything else is a pretty sprawling little neighborhood with not paved roads, but gravel roads taking most of the area. You make your way to the foreman's house, which is separated from the town, and it's about halfway between the mine entrance, which you see in the distance, and the town itself. But you walk to the door, you knock on it, and you hear "Who is it?"
A couple of lances trying to fix your problem.
You hear some shuffling in the background, and a sort of scruffy man swings the door open and steps out onto what's not much of a porch. He steps down the stairs, and he's like, "All right. What's up?"
Hey,
You see this man is also tired, has a broken arm in a sling right now, and is generally just sort of glaring at you.
Oh, sorry to hear about that arm. I'm Monkey. And this here's Raven and Nemesis. We're looking to help you out with your problems.
Can you wait till the morning?
Earlier we get started, earlier we can fix the problems. We really just want a couple minutes of your time to ask about your version of events.
My version of events?
Well, I know the mayor's kind of hand-waving about he doesn't really believe that everything's as bad as you're making it out to be. But I know that as a foreman, you obviously want things to keep running, and so to shut down the mine it's not a little issue, it's a big deal, and so we
Oh,
want to
I'm
let you know
aware. I'm
we're
very
here,
much aware.
we're listening.
We're about to sit down and eat dinner. Didn't it wait until the morning?
Well, we can't make you do what you don't want to do, and so we can come back in the morning.
I appreciate it. Sorry, the kid just gets really fussy if we wait. I would like to put him to bed. If you come early before he wakes up, that's probably your best time.
Sounds good. Well, in the meantime, do you mind if we poke around in the mines?
Yeah, you can. The elevator's locked. I'll have to find the key, but it's somewhere in my work clothes. I'll get to it in the morning. I'm sorry. It's just you shouldn't be outside after dark. Not
Alright.
recommended. There's
Why is
been
that?
things happening. A lot of things have moved. Some people have gone missing. It's, if you believe what all the other miners say, there's a ghost or there's a boogeyman that's stealing things, taking things around. It might just be the kids. It might be something worse. Whatever is going on in the mines is probably going on up here. It's generally, no one's died, I would say. But enough strange things are happening that people are getting generally nervous. And if when he says that, he sort of backs up so he's standing underneath the porch light and not in the dark like you guys are.
Do we have
Alright, well,
anywhere to stay? Like out of
Yeah, we have
character?
a bed, or we have a home. Like they gave us a home to use while we're here.
My back.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Foreman.
Be safe out there.
Cool.
After we step away from the door, I want to say, like, so obviously I'm planning on staying up tonight to see what the fuck is going on. I
At
don't
a
know
minimum,
what.
so
Yeah,
much.
I don't know what you all are feeling.
I feel like that was a weird interaction with the foreman. I understand having a kid, but like, I don't know. Not even
Yeah,
being able to give the key.
I agree.
I
What's up with
definitely
that
want to stay up.
broken arm? That's suspicious.
I definitely want to stay up to see what happens, and I think I'd like to also keep an eye on the foreman's house to see if anybody's like coming and going.
You can
That's me personally.
drop your player tokens on the map so we can sort of see what everyone's doing. You see like the foreman's house over here, the main hall, the church in the center of town. Yeah.
Ghosties, like,
Ghosty.
This is like a world building question, but like, are ghosts a like a religious phenomenon, or are they like a scientific phenomenon? Like in this world,
So, what most people would call, it depends on the culture. So this microcosm of a colony might be different, but generally speaking, what most people call ghosts tends to be a paracausal entity that's just kind of being spooky and doing weird shit. As far as actual ghosts, like undead spirits and whatnot, not recorded, definitely, or not like scientifically proven, but definitely recorded throughout different people's histories. And whether or not that is a paracausal entity or someone doing weird shit or an actual ghost, never actually proven one way or another. Ever since the discovery of paracausal entities, it's like weird.
But would these people, like, would their reaction, I guess my question is, would their reaction be to like pray to some god to get rid of the ghost, or would their reaction be to like do something technological?
Your intel was not that deep as far as the cultures. You'd have to ask some of the more prominent figures around town.
Try.
wanna pull
They
stuff
told
out of
us to fuck off.
I also kind of want to keep an eye on the church because I feel like that's
George. Okay.
interesting. But also, I want to watch the foreman's house. So
Oh no!
Uh,
Split the party!
I
Split the
can-
party!
I can do the foreman's house if you want to do the church.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Dean, what's this little thing on top of the church?
When you're looking at the map, it's like a stairwell that leads up to the roof.
On top of the church? Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
It leads to the bell
Up to
tower.
like the bell tower.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a giant pizza that's just
it's a
cooking
church
on the
butthole.
server.
That's what it looked like, and so I was like,
Girl,
what
it's
the
a
fuck?
booty hole.
It's a church butthole.
Can I go up to the bell tower so I get like a good view of both the church and what's going on?
I mean, you can.
Cool.
You
I like being high up.
enter the church and you see a tall man sort of dressed in black, and he says,
Oh, ooh.
"Oh,
Ooh.
it is late. Is everything okay?"
Yeah, we are lancers here to sort of investigate the ghost situation you guys have been dealing with.
Ah, I hope the town
My
hasn't
name's-
been too crass to you.
What did he say? Can you repeat that?
Hoping the town
I
hasn't
don't-
been too crass to you, if that's the right word. People have been generally nervous lately.
Well, we've had a very, very warm welcome. Thank you.
That's good.
My name's Raven.
Ah, excellent. Father Vermissen, I'm sort of the spiritual leader here. Would you care for it's late, would you care for a pot of tea?
Thank you.
Okay.
What have you noticed going on?
The town's been getting tense, I guess. Oh, you want knowledge? You're asking for knowledge of me.
I'm trying to keep notes.
It's been interesting. Things have been going bump in the night, as the kids would say, and some of the parents as well. Yeah. Oh my god. Well, I guess what exactly are you asking for? I'm trying to phrase the question part or the answer appropriately.
I'm sorry, my children were acting up.
Gross. Destroy them.
Guda was just sitting outside the door screaming, and Haley opened the door and she just sat there and she was like,
Yeah.
"The fuck?"
It'd be like that.
What was the question?
What exactly are you asking about? There's been a lot of things happening in town, so I'm just trying to narrow down the answer.
Tell me what's. I want to know what's been happening.
Well, it all started 100 years ago when the town was founded.
Okay.
Honestly, not much happened until then. But realistically, in the recent months, or at least the recent decade, people have been leaving the town. Obviously, trying to do bigger and better things. Not that the Copper Mines have been a declining business until the last month, but generally, most of the kids don't want to grow up on a mine and want to do bigger and better things. So realistically, the population here has been declining, and we don't have a lot of people coming in. Not sure what that means for the copper production, but it is a point of concern for the mayor. And with the community being smaller, I'm worried about sort of the structure and the mental health of those inhabitants.
Okay.
As far, what's up?
Yeah. What's been going on? The foreman told us about like people going missing.
Nobody's actually gone missing. At least as far as like the official records go, there is in our census, nobody's reported anyone actually missing. That being said, a lot of the children's rumors and some of the more superstitious adults are saying, "Oh, we haven't seen Jacob in a week. He must have been stolen by a ghost or something," even though he attends church regularly. So there's some rumor mills going on that aren't actually backed up by any fact, and it is sort of causing chaos amidst the people here.
Strange. When people are confronted with the fact that Jacob is in church, what do they do? Like they see
Very
Jacob in
defensive.
church?
The people who are spreading these rumors tend to be the ones that stay at home and don't really interact with the community. Not saying there's a crazy old man, but some of the people tend to keep to themselves, especially some of the older miners that no longer can work just due to age.
What are some of the people that are really concerned about people going missing? Can I have, like, their names so I can check in with them?
The foreman, he's, well, mostly because, like, the people he claims are missing, quote unquote, are some of the miners and the workers down there.
But those people are still coming to church?
That I've seen. I've not noticed anyone missing from my normal congregation.
Wait, the foreman was the one with the broken arm, right?
Yee.
Yes.
Do you know how the foreman broke his arm? We just stopped in and he seemed like a little overwhelmed. He has a little one.
His family's been relatively ill, or at least his youngest, his newborn, has been relatively ill, or you know how some kids are. Sometimes they're just very susceptible, and generally kids does not enable good sleep. So he's been kind of on edge lately. It happens about a month ago. He said that one of the pieces of machinery down there, like, malfunctioned, and he was hit by one of the mechanical arms, and it, like, threw him across the room. Thankfully, it only broke his arm and not, like, his spine, but he was out of the action for a little bit. He claimed that the arm was haunted, and that the train just lunged at him, which is substantiated by some of the rumors of the other miners, sort of, that apparently were on the scene. I was not down there myself. I know the mayor investigated the mines in the factory a month ago with the foreman, but didn't find anything. But that being said, some of the people around have been saying that their terminals, their appliances, anything electronic has sometimes been malfunctioning. Like cameras going haywire. It's been interesting. A lot of people say it's ghosts. Some of it is really just the equipment we have is 100 years old and hasn't been replaced.
You said that he broke his arm about a month ago. Is that about the time that they shut the mine down?
Yes, about. I think that's really the incident that he said, because apparently these weird happenings, like lights turning off and on, devices malfunctioning, have been going on for a few months, but this is the first time that someone's been seriously hurt. So he determined that the mines were unsafe at the time and shut them down until something could be resolved. And he basically begged the mayor to, like, have somebody investigate.
Well, that's why we're here.
Ow.
Well, thank you so much for this information. We were just wondering, we asked to sort of speak with the foreman. He wasn't ready to speak with us tonight. So we're gonna sort of be roaming around, keeping an eye out tonight and see sort of what's going on. Do you mind if I go up to your bell tower and just use it as a lookout?
Yeah, by all means. Be careful. The lights up there don't work, so it will be dark. We haven't had a chance to really, and nobody goes up there. It's mostly automatic.
Something that I want to highlight that we can follow up on. The mayor offered us tea. This man offered us tea, but the foreman did not. I don't know if there's something to do with that, if there's something going on there, but maybe the tea is, like, helping people keep a straight, like, because the mayor was pretty
putting, like, chemicals in the tea, turning the frogs gay.
Yeah, but the opposite. Uh,
Made a note in the log.
yeah.
Day frogs.
Frogs.
What are frogs?
Before I go up, can I just, what kind of tea do you have?
I believe it's called an Earl Grey. It's like an old traditional company. The company still hasn't gone out of business. I don't know what a London is, but they make good tea.
I don't
Curious.
know what
I'm not a big tea drinker, but every once in a while, if it's like, you know.
It is good. It is, if you don't stay up, it is a little caffeinated, so be careful. But
I'm okay. Thank you very much.
of course, I tend to be up late myself, so if you need anything, just let us know.
I like the father. I like the father.
Well, of course
I'm
you
gonna
do,
go-
Christian.
Okay.
We've moved past microaggressions to full aggression.
Straight up
Imagine
aggression.
being a Christian. That's crazy.
Christian.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
I like the father. He seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders.
We can remove that.
No, stop.
Yikes.
Whoops.
Yikes.
X is right.
Well,
Don't
sort of like-
worry.
This sort of like that information sort of aligns with what we were thinking about the ghosty being like a ESP. I know that's not the right
ESP.
letters.
Esp.
I know it's
Yes.
Extrasensory person.
because if it's only affecting electronics, I think that makes sense. But can I use like my CompCon or something to be like, this is the information I got from the father. So now you guys know that.
Got it.
Nice. Thank
Nice.
you.
Received.
Seems like Foreman might be at the center of this. Over.
No.
Has a sick kid. Over.
Fuck them kids. Over.
It certainly seems
Son of a
suspicious.
bitch.
A father in this economy? Disgusting.
Who does he think he is? Having a child.
I know. I meant more maybe this is like related somehow. That his
Oh.
kid is.
Oh, that makes sense. What a piece of shit, you know?
Fuck that guy.
Oh, also, I relay the information about him getting his arm broken at the same time as shutting down the mine.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Seems worthwhile. Cool. I think that Dom is kind of just he kind of just went back to wherever they've told us we can stay. If there's like a front porch or something, I think he'll hang out there and keep an eye from there.
Sierra, you're up in the clock tower, or the bell tower. Dom, you just went to the house / porch.
Yeah.
Monty, what are you doing? Santos.
Trying to find a way to keep an eye on the foreman's home. Without being obvious. There's not a lot of. It doesn't look like there's a lot of space.
His house is like pretty much out in the open on flat terrain.
Yeah. Monkey's gonna like find a particular like maybe there's a little bit of a hill or like I know it's all pretty flat. Maybe
Yeah.
there's like some vegetation, and Monkey's just like gonna go prone, and just like keep in the direction of the foreman's home.
Okay. You lay prone. You're basically doing your little stakeout. You don't see anything coming from the foreman's house. The lights are off after, and you also notice that the lights have always been off except for the porch light.
That's interesting.
Sierra, you're up in the bell. What's up?
Sierra did get confirmation that the foreman does have a child, right?
A child. Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
A baby.
No.
No. Sierra, you're up in the bell tower. It is about what the local time would be like 8 p.m. ish. It's dark. You hear gears whirring as the bells begin to toll gently. It's very loud because you're right next to it, but the bong, bong going on overhead for the hour. Back on the home in the porch, Dominic, you sort of checked it out. It's a very simple hovel. It's got got 2 bunk beds, or it's got 4 bunk beds. It's meant to house like 8 people, but there's nobody in there right now. It looks like it was used within the last year, lived in, but the current residents have either left or have not used this particular building in a while. It's stocked with basic amenities, a small kitchenette, nothing fancy, but there is a van sort of sitting outside that you have been given the keys to, should you need it to get around the town into the mines and back, but nothing else really of note. Who wants to go first? Alan or Mallory?
Go first where?
Don't worry. Pick.
I'm scared.
I can go first.
Okay.
I'm not scared.
I'm scared.
Dominic, are you staying awake? Are you trying to like stake out as well?
Yeah.
You're like a couple hours pass with nothing. The streets again are dead and empty. It's about midnight. And every hour, and Mallory, you hear this too. You hear the clock tower or the bell tower going off. It seems to be an automated system. It just rings for however many whatever hour it is. So you hit the 12th hour and you hear 12 bombs. And then right as the 12th bomb sort of resonates around the town, you see a small flicker coming from the van as a blue light on the dashboard sort of briefly lights up the interior and then turns off. You also hear, after a short delay, a 13th bell, a 14th bell, 15th bell, and it continues ringing, like once every few seconds.
How many total?
It doesn't stop. It just keeps going.
Okay. Is there anything else? Anything else that's occurring? Are those the only 2 things that I notice?
The only 2 things you notice at this moment.
Okay. I think I will. Yeah, I think Dom goes, approaches the van. It like doesn't touch it yet. Just like gets closer to see if he can see if there's anything. If he can see what's on the display, what's flashing on the display.
Yeah. You notice that most of the vehicles and equipment around here has like dark tinted windshields and windows, mostly because of the unprotected nature of the sun. It's otherwise you'd be basically blinded during the daytime. So it's like very tinted windows. So you can't see in it. I would like you to make me what would the word be? A dodge check?
A dodge?
Whatever skill you feel might be relevant. As the van essentially roars to life as you approach it and immediately charges you.
Hey, who replied that I approached from the front?
You see the blue light flash viciously. You hear a crackle of energy, and the wheels turn, head at you, and then bum rush you.
Nice. I don't think get somewhere quickly applies here. We've had this sort of conversation in the past.
That one particularly doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know that I necessarily have a specific skill, so I'll just roll.
Have at it, gamer.
To try to get out of the way. It's a 14.
You manage to basically roll just as this thing like thunders past you. The horn is blaring as it slams into the corner of your new hut and just demolishes a corner of it, leaving it exposed to the wind. The van sort of sputters for a second, and then the blue light flashes, flickers, and shuts off entirely.
Great.
At the same time, you hear a distant crash, and the sound of the bells stops. Sierra, you're in the watchtower. It's been a couple hours. Midnight rolls around. You've basically like stuffed like cotton or something into your ears. You've been keeping an eye out, but aside from like the wind blowing like occasional like dust devils across the plains, it's like nothing's been happening. But midnight approaches. And as the clock tower goes off for what you hope is the final time, it continues tolling. And after the 12th ring, the 13th, the 14th, it continues on and on and on. As you too notice a small blue flicker from above. And a grinding of gears. I need you to make me a check as well.
Which check?
Something to dodge, if you would. As you hear the grinding of gears and an electronic fizzling a spark, as the bell dislodges itself and falls upon your head.
Oh. I thought I had a dodge, but I think that's in my mech.
Yeah, that'd be like your agility stat. But when you're just a human, a little lass, it would be a trigger, if you have one.
I have stay cool. Does that work?
No.
I mean, it is performing a task that requires dexterity and speed.
Okay, you didn't add that. Fail, 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 fail. Die.
No.
Yes!
Not with the natural one.
This massive, heavy bell.
It'd be really sad if you kill this character.
You explode.
cry.
Your body just detonates as you scatter into little meaty chunks as you are shot in the head 3 times by the bell. No, it's not that bad. But you are caught unawares. You barely notice the spark as this heavy metal bell, which must weigh at least 100 pounds of just like solid brass, slams into your side, sends you tumbling through the top floor of the bell tower and crashing down to the roof of the of this place. You are going to take, whoops, not that one. Oop. 4 points of damage to your pilot as your suit protects you from some, but you are basically crushed underneath the weight of this thing and pinned beneath it for a second. The wind is knocked out of you as you're lying on the roof of the church.
How much? 4?
4 damage to your pilot. Yeah.
You know you're rolling as Dom?
Yeah. Dom did this. He's evil.
Dom did this to me?
Dom did it. I don't know how to deselect. That's the problem.
Escape and or
I did it.
left. There you go.
I'm so smart. But you take 4 damage as you are now trapped under the weight of this giant bell.
Can I immediately message use my comcom and be like,
Yeah, you're good.
Raven down, Raven down.
Yeah. Monkey's
I got a bell on
gonna
top of me, I need help.
Monkey's gonna abandon the stakeout and head on over to Raven.
You go upstairs. As you reach there, you see the very sleepy Father of Mist like waking up. He opens up the rear with where his sleeping doors are. He's like, guest, what's going on?
The bell tower. How do I get up there?
What? He like points
bell
to
tower.
the staircase behind the pulpit.
Great, come help. And
What?
I leap up.
He
I leap
basically
upstairs.
he literally staggers after you. Find Raven like pinned underneath this bell. There is definitely bleeding, but at initial glance, a lot of it's internal, which for better or for worse.
Cute. Raven's
That's
like,
where the blood
"Hey, guys,
belongs.
what's up?
Hey. Oh my
Hey, guys.
god. What happened?
I wasn't fast enough."
What?
I would like to use some form of like. I would like to see if there's a in everything that broke. Is there a piece of 2x4 or a plank
Yeah,
or something that I
easy.
can use for leverage?
Yeah, there's like splinters of whatever, but you find a sturdy like timber beam that you can just sort of
Right.
use.
He's
I would like
smart.
to use that, and with the combined weight between me and the father,
Yeah,
maybe get.
no issues. You with a creak and a groan, this bell sort of rolls off and makes one final dum as it crashes onto the ground. You give Sierra sort of the look over. She's definitely probably broken a few ribs and is jacked up, but she is alive.
In this moment, I've realized, I chat Nemesis and go, Nemesis, do you copy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cool. Raven,
Sorry, I'm investigating my own thing right now.
you're good. Just didn't hear much from you. Raven's
You-
all right. We
You
got it.
hear a small explosion as the van detonates.
Does the van blow up?
It blows up.
God damn it.
Your house is now on
Bean.
fire. And you guys see over by where the hovel and Dom would be is just a small fireball.
Like, oh, well, never mind. You know the hut that neither of you guys saw? We had a decent place to stay. It is now on fire.
Well, why would you set it on fire?
I didn't.
Cat.
There was a van, and I was gonna poke around at it. Thank God I didn't get too close because it just blew up in front of me, sent me flying
van-
a couple of dozen.
The van
feet.
set the house on fire?
Yes.
Like,
Vanished.
Holy shit.
well, shoot.
There's something going on here.
Yep. I did notice that something took over. It seemed like some sort of tech hack, whatever.
A hacker.
Something took over the van.
Oh.
Is this I want to ask for like symptoms, and I'm curious if this has any relation to the shuttle that we fixed on the Valkyrie that was like infected with AI.
That's so
Could be.
smart. Look at this. We don't need Dale. We can put square pegs in square holes.
Well, hold on, girly. Hold on, girly. We don't know if I'm trying to put a square peg in a square hole. It could be a rhombus. We don't know yet.
Could be. Hey, it's got flat sides.
Same
It's got
difference.
flat sides.
Jeez. Okay. What are you doing at this time in the aftermath?
I want to connect. I want to ask the father if the church has a term. First of all, I introduce myself. I'm like, hello, thank you for your help. I really appreciate that.
No,
A monkey.
Sure. Oh, nice to meet you. I'm Father Vermessen. What just happened? Are you okay?
Sierra's also taking a stim. Like, I'm doing drugs
yeah.
on the side.
That's okay. That's actually fair. Let's go inside. I don't think we should be outside at this point.
Do you have a terminal that I can log into?
Yeah, downstairs.
I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see if I can get set up on it and see if there's a cursory glance or anything. I do want Raven with me because she's a better hacker than I am,
Mhm.
but I just want to take a cursory glance.
Yeah, you basically like help her over as you log into this terminal. The father's like pouring himself a cup of tea with a shaky hand, like, "What the fuck just happened to my church?"
Is the bell automated?
Yeah, it was very much like an automatic, like a motor system that would ring it on the hour. It's tied into the system. While it looked archaic, it was definitely modern in its infrastructure.
Gotcha. Can I hack? What are we hacking for?
Well, first of all, I just want to like see what this terminal is connected to. Like is this terminal? This terminal is probably connected to the like bell tower.
Yeah, no, this terminal is
but
basically interface for the building as a whole.
yeah, I just want to see like, did anything come up in like, was there an error log? Did anything come up? Anything weird? If I'm hounding on the like AI angle, then I'm like, I want to start here.
Mm-hmm. You roll me a hack check then, or a tech check or something of the sort. If you have a trigger that would apply to brute force your way into the system.
Raven, you're better. You have a hack 4, right? You have a +4 to hacking.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, then I'd like Raven too, actually.
Okay. You are a little delirious from blood loss and/or concussion.
It's fine. I took a stem. I'm fine.
Yeah. Meth will make you feel better for like a few hours.
I have been rolling like such shit today. I feel like I've rolled a whole bunch, and I haven't rolled above 10 at all today.
All you it's like college.
Was 110.
All you need is a 10.
C's get degrees.
C's.
D's nuts.
Like to me.
I would like to remind you that PK took out and intimidated an entire cell block of prisoners with a 10 to succeed. Like,
That's fair.
It'd be like that.
Lancer, all the cool stuff. You just need a 10.
You're sort of like your good hand is like flying across the keyboard. You're scrolling through some logs. Monty's looking over your shoulder. Everything looks
Can I?
What's up?
I'm like through what I'm doing, so I'm like, okay, so I'm hacking and and I'm doing this and I'm doing that and and this I'm doing this, so that he like feels like he's involved.
I'm helping.
Oh.
You're looking through these logs, and there's basically everything regarding the bell tower is pretty standard. On the hour, it's a very simple loop of coding, and a small automaton that just sort of runs that automatically. Nothing like fancy like an NHP. You don't think there's any NHPs like in this network, because that's like a little too expensive for a small mining town. But as you are sort of plucking through this, you see hidden in some of the code is a couple choice pieces of lines that, when connected together, basically overruns the motor and caused it to malfunction. And this recent addition was as of about 5 minutes ago, just before the bell tower. You look for the source and who added it, and it's this jumble of letters and codes that has no sense. It doesn't even look like an encryption. It's just a string of characters. Forever, the quote who put that in there. And from the where, it's the same thing.
Can you repeat that? I don't think I got all of it.
Fuck! What did I say? You see bits of lines in the code that were recently added. That when they're connected together is a piece of code and a script that'll overrun the bell motor, and it caused it to malfunction, hence it dropping down and frying out its supports. When you look for
the bits
who
of code were recently added.
Yeah, you look for who added it. It happened right before the bell tower fried itself, and the who and the where the code was added from is a string of letters and numbers and characters. It doesn't even look like a cipher or an encryption. It's just gibberish.
So this is where we are working with what we thought we were.
Well, then I would suggest let's do our best not to plug in our personal hardware into the town systems, because we want to make sure that we're not potentially infected with, if it gets a hold of our mechs, that's pretty shitty.
That would be shitty.
I just relay what Raven has found out to Dom, and then I loop in Eclipse around it too.
Stats report, Bunty.
Hi, just some broken ribs, nothing crazy, not mine. Just wanted to give you a heads up. It seems that we are potentially dealing with, once again, AI shenanigans, and I just kind of relay what Raven has found.
Keep in touch. Is everything under control right now?
Yeah, Dom blew up our home. No, Van blew up. I think the AI knows that we're here and that we're important. Not much else to let you know of. We have found ally in the father here with the church. He's been very helpful.
Keep us posted, but good looking out.
All right. What next?
I would personally like to converge, so we're not split up anymore.
Yeah. Well, now that our home is blown up, I guess, Nemesis, do you want to meet us in town?
Yeah, I'll be there shortly.
You sort of converge in the center of town around the statue. You see a couple of the firefighting like drones, like simple little creatures with basically a built-in fire extinguisher, like hovering around what was your house, just like spraying it down.
Okay.
Like, you're basically standing around the statue. You see a couple lights turn on and people poke their heads like through the windows, but nobody leaves their home. But they are those that do look are like watching you, kind of just standing out in the middle of nowhere, like with like curious expressions on their faces.
Yeah. Don't really know how to fight AI.
Oh.
It's in a different zone than us. We could try isolating it and seeing if we can track it down. When we found it on that shuttle, once confronted, it kind of just laughed until it died. And so I guess it's a little bit of a game of cat and mouse now.
I have a bunch of.
Yep.
I have a bunch of new hack stuff that I got.
Hack.
That maybe could be helpful, but I think I need to see them, right?
Are you talking like your hack abilities?
Yeah.
For
like I
that,
can't hack something I can't see.
generally no. It has to be within. Well, yes, it has to be within range of your sensors to hack from your mech. So you would have to be in your mech. So you don't have to necessarily see them, but as long as you can sense them, you are technically able to apply hacks to them.
But like, what does that mean to sense them?
So
like,
for mechs, there is a sensor range, which is basically like your vision for mechs, that's in addition to what you could normally see. So as long as there's an entity within your sensor range, you know where they are and generally what they're doing, because it's basically like your thermal, infrared, electromagnetic readings that your mech just picks up and amalgamates.
Oh, can we hop into our mechs?
You could, yeah.
To see if we can sense.
Not a bad idea.
You would have to get closer to the town itself, but yeah, you could.
I would personally like to do that, but if we want to do something first, I'm cool with that too.
I think it's just too late in the night to like we were asked not to freak out the townspeople.
No,
We gotta do what we gotta do.
Mech into town in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Do it.
Okay, that's fair.
I would rather see if we have other means to like. Then again, there's really not much else we can do until people wake up.
Could I somehow heal myself while we wait?
Yeah, I guess we could just rest and wait until morning.
Yeah, you could. You'll need to find a place to sleep.
Can we sleep in the church?
The father's
Father.
like,
Can we sleep in the church?
I don't. There's not another bed, but I do have some spare blankets, and if that helps.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll sleep
He
on
passes them out. You basically like find a place on some of the pews, and you're sleeping till morning. The sun comes up, and you are kind of gently awoken by people coming into the church halls itself. The father kind of gently wakes you and says, "There's
Sunday?
It is Sunday now, or whatever day it is." He's doing a simple sermon. He's giving you guys breakfast before everyone started coming in before sunup, but he did ask you to get off the pews. Ow, sharp cat, sharp cat! What would you like to do, my little gamers?
I want to immediately talk to the foreman.
Yeah.
But also in general, just I want to talk to the mayor and like I just want access to as many town terminals. I also wonder if he has just like a terminal that's connected to all the systems in the town, but
The mayor's?
yeah. But I want to talk to the foreman first.
Okay. Sorry. You make your way over to the foreman's house. The lights are still off. It is relatively early, so you wouldn't expect many people to be up, except for some of the early churchgoers. But you make your way over.
Yeah. I expect him to be awake.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like give the door like a light knock. Like I don't if he's got kids, I don't want to like wake him the fuck up.
Yeah. Hold on. You see him. Oh, he steps outside and he's like, "Right, it is morning." His eyes have bags underneath him. He still looks exhausted. He's like, "I assume you didn't get much sleep either?"
No, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I just slept while you guys are suffering.
Nice. What's up? I know we talked. I'm sorry. I'm just forgetting a little bit. It was late.
You're all right. We're Lancers.
Yeah.
We came in to help out. Stayed up overnight and saw some interesting things happen with the town. Wanted to talk to you and get
Bruce?
your experience.
He sort of looks at you expectantly.
Specifically, heard about what happened to your arm. You said like a robotic arm did that to you?
Yeah, no, it was one of the conveyor belts in the factory. It basically went haywire, swung out, and caught me on the chest. I managed to catch it with my arm, but it bruised a couple ribs, and then he gestured to the cast, like shattered my arm and elbow. Not a great time. There's something going on. I shut down the mines shortly after that in the factory because it's not worth having people get fucking decapitated by some road machine.
No, I agree. Copper's important, but it's not more important than y'all's safety.
Yeah. After that, so the rest of the miners then claimed ghosts and refused to go in, so it was kind of a moot point, because even if I kept the mines open, they wouldn't have gone in. So there's only so much we can do.
Is this... When did this start happening? Because y'all have had 3 generations of successful mine operations here.
Must have been 3, 4, 5-ish months ago. From what some of the miners have been saying, it's been little things here and there as long as like a year ago, but I didn't start seeing things happen down in the mines until about 4 months ago. And then recently when this happened to me, it'd be like the door is shutting on people, or like the coffee maker going off, or just like something just refusing to start entirely, which in and of itself makes sense because the stuff's old, but it would like follow certain people. Like for a week straight, Jeremy would say that nothing's working for him, that he would flip a light switch and got zapped, and then it would go to
Yeah.
like Marcus and then follow him around. So it's like it feels targeted, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Whether it's a
Um,
ghost like the mine and just the rest of the dice to claim, or if it's something else.
Yeah. Did y'all dig up anything, unearth any passages recently? Did you, any pieces of tech have interfaced with your tech?
You mean like ancient burial grounds? No. This planet's barren.
Yeah.
No technology. Not at least in our mine. I'm sure some of the other colonies have found something, but ours has been relatively straightforward. Only thing we've had hit is like copper veins. So nothing weird from our half.
Do you get a lot of visitors? Like a lot of foreign off-worlders?
Sort of. We ship directly. It's not an official landing area, but the wide open plains are very conducive to just large transport ships landing outside the town. We load them up, and then they go. They'll usually stay for a minute, but there's not much. They don't normally stay more than a day, so visitors don't never really stay the night. It's usually an in and out.
And nobody's ever needed to like interface into your systems. Like no virus. Like I'm thinking this might be something akin to a virus.
You mean like within like the terminals or something?
Yeah.
I mean, when ships dock, they do have to interface for clearances, but that's usually done remotely.
Yeah, but even that's enough to get a virus into the network.
I mean, sure.
All right. Anything else we can help you with while we're here?
I mean, if you can just like convince the miners that like and try to calm some of them down, that'd be great. Because right now there's a lot of rumors going around, and it's sort of causing a panic if you asked anyone else. But
Got it.
whether or not that's true, I don't know. But when someone says something and starts freaking out, it causes the kids to freak out, causes the parents to freak out. You know how it goes.
All right. Yep. Thanks for your. Can we get that key into the mines?
Oh, yeah, no. And he fishes in his pocket. So this is the level 1 access that I was borrowing from one of my guys. Some of the kids swiped my badge and swapped it when we were coming back up for lunch. I'm not sure who has it, but one of the kids is running around with the mine badge, which is not great because what's going on down there is not safe for kids to be running around. If it's enough to like nearly injure a fully grown man, I would not like to see what a heavy machine can do to a child.
Oh, absolutely.
But this will at least get you to the first level. You can sort of check it out. But if you can find the kid that took my badge, that'd be great.
Not your kid, right? Ha ha ha.
No. Not if she did, I would have. She knows better.
What were you gonna say, Raven?
When you say kid, how old are we talking?
So we've got a newborn who's only a few months old. Normally sleeps pretty well, except when they don't. And then I've got
I meant the kid that stole your.
She's a teenager, young teenager. Likes to cause mischief, runs around with the other school kids, thinking they're like detectives or something. You know how it goes. They were pretending to be wolves the other day, but yeah.
How many kids are there in this town?
A good number. The population is just under 1,000 overall. I'd say that the current, I guess, like the school has about 100 or so people in here right now. The local school building. Just one teacher though, or 2 teachers. Not if you count the support teacher. Small class this year.
Sure. So how many like teenagers then that we would maybe be thinking?
Well, I know that my daughter
that's-
runs around with like a gang of like 12 or so kids, about her age for her group, but overall, like maybe 30. I don't know. You'd ask the mayor for like a proper census, but at least that's what I've sort of seen coming out when I go to pick up the kid.
So,
You know the specific kids who would likely have stolen your badge.
Not by name, unfortunately. Will admit I've not been the best father. I've been working out at the mines for usually longer than I'd like, and it's either me or the wife that could pick up the kids, but I don't actually get to interact with outside of like the parent-teacher conferences. Usually,
And how do you know it wasn't your kid?
she knows better. I mean, if she is and she was, then I'd be very disappointed, and that'd be a different conversation. But I'm pretending to have faith in my kid until proven wrong. Not pretending. I'd like to have faith in her.
Don't know that it wasn't.
No, but I'd like it not to be, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Wishful
Where's
thinking,
your
though.
child? ATM.
Right now, she's running out with her friends. She was staying over at one of their houses last night, which I hope
Is
was not the
your-
one that exploded.
Is
No,
your wife?
that
That
was-
would've been
That's what I
ours.
thought. Okay.
Is your wife around?
She's inside. She's asleep, considering they were kept up all night.
Okay.
The explosion did wake up the kids, so that was interesting.
Side note to Monkey and Nemesis, not to
What did you say about me?
the foreman. We should
Ooh.
probably talk to the wife. The wife might be more helpful in terms of
Could be.
teens. Also, it seems likely that his daughter took it. Right?
But, like,
I mean,
She would never. She's
it's
a
not
good kid.
unlikely.
I don't think it's unlikely either.
I don't
Seems
know.
like wishful thinking that he's saying that,
My child would never.
yeah, she knows
Yeah.
better than. Nah. 100% feel like she's. At least of all of the kids that we know of in the town, she seems like the first person to ask or to try and figure out. Maybe not ask. I would be surprised if we got a straight answer.
I have everything I need from the foreman.
Same.
All right. I tell him thank you for your time. I hope
Mm.
you get some sleep.
Yeah, me too. And then he
Have you
sort
ever
of like,
tried having tea before bed? Sometimes people say it helps them relax.
my wife likes it. I'm a coffee person. I've never been a fan. The actual like,
Your wife's a big tea drinker?
she loves the tea.
Yeah, what kind of tea does she drink?
Whatever they normally ship in, any of the fancier brands, we can't really get shipped out here, from what I understand. There's like been issues
She's a
like
before bed tea drinker?
yeah. So she tries to
Yeah.
get the non-caffeinated, like the sleep aid ones, but that stuff gets really expensive really fast, especially out here. You know,
And you've never tried it?
I've tried it. It doesn't really help me. Also, like my shifts tend to run late anyway, so I just kind of fall asleep as soon as I get home. It's not good sleep, but I fall asleep. I mean, also a streaming kid only doesn't really help too much, you know. Anything else? Let me know if that key doesn't work, and then I might have another spare somewhere, or I can ask one of the guys for it.
Got it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And he sort of waves you off and
Yeah.
closes the door.
Well,
What would you like to do, my little gamers?
There's something about this tea.
The tea.
If Dale were here, he would agree with me.
Well, he's not here.
You're fucked! Cat, no! Creature, please.
I feel like the tea. I think it would be very funny if the tea had anything to do with it. I don't think that it does, unfortunately.
I think there's something there. There's something
I
there.
think the reason Dale's not here is because he's the AI.
No.
Next week, Dale comes back. The AI's gone. It's like, oh, guess
It's
all
totally
good.
big.
Totally fixed. Okay, so
We could talk to the mayor next, and I think the priest might be good for asking where the kids are. Like, I got to imagine he has a pretty good running tally of what people do in their free time.
yeah, we could try to get a census from the mayor too, and if we want like a better sense of what the population is, but I don't know that we actually need it. I think that starting with the father is a good idea.
You make your way to insert building. Where are you doing first? We've got a little bit of time.
Mayor,
to ask these questions.
please.
You go to the main hall. The mayor sort of like nods as you enter. He steps out of his office and he said, "I'm terribly sorry about what happened. I don't think this is something like this has ever happened." Yeah, and he sort of like gestures to his secretary, who hands you a second set of keys. He's like, "You can use that for your stay here. We'll fix up the old one. I'll find you a new vehicle. I'm really sorry about what happened."
Hey, it wasn't your fault, right? Ha 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 ha.
I hope not.
Unless it was. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't say that.
I mean, if it was, we could figure this thing out real fast, but I don't even know at this point. I got
Hey, buddy.
cars exploding, people being run over. Like, I don't even know. It's been a lot.
Who got run over?
And he looks at Nemesis. I'm assuming that you didn't actually run you over, but based on the reports, generally vans running people over is not something we've had an issue with around here. Minus a drunk driver or two.
It tried.
Well, I'm glad
didn't
you
get me.
won.
He didn't get me.
But it tried.
Too quick.
Right. We wanted to ask about. We ended up talking with the foreman. Good guy.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to ask about the Utes.
What about him? How old are you?
Me?
Yeah. What do you need to know about our kids?
I am of the appropriate age to be inquiring about the safety of your colony.
Okay. Depends on the question, but okay.
Apparently some of them have been able to nab the foreman's key card.
Oh, yeah, he was complaining about that last week.
Who makes replacements? Like, can we get a replacement key card for the foreman?
They have to get shipped from the parent company, and that takes time. Because basically everything's sort of like patent and controlled. So replacements are a expensive endeavor and B, a time-consuming endeavor.
Yeah. All right. Well, then, if we could find which of the kiddos has them, so that we could potentially get you one without having to replace it.
I know that there's been like a couple pickpockets around here, but it's never been anything more than like petty theft. I'm sure some of them thought it was like a wallet or something and just grabbed it accidentally and didn't realize what it actually was. As far as like a who,
Sure.
I don't have names.
Yeah.
I mean, we could just round up all the kids and like put them in the school and just like talk at them, but we've tried that before. None of them fess up. Like, we'll search their pockets and we'll find like, oh, you took like someone's wallet, and slap on the wrist to get detention. But like, it's not like we're gonna throw the kid in jail for just being a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is a little bit more than a wallet. Like, I agree with you. I don't know if they belong in jail, but
yeah,
now you have your foreman who doesn't have access to foreman key card.
Yeah. Since last time we checked out the mines proper was a month ago, but he hasn't let anyone go back down there since then. So he's assured me it's less of an issue than we'd like. And as well as he gets notifications whenever somebody does use his card, and nobody he says that like nobody's been using it and that mine has been locked tight since.
He
Wait,
gets notifications.
Generally, yeah. So our
this
terminals
card's
will
been missing for a month?
a week. Just a week. He's been trying to handle it
I mean-
internally. I'm trying not to use police force to basically arrest children. The foreman and the miner and the workers of this town, since it is the majority of the population, tend to have as much individual sway over the population as I do. They kind of keep to themselves, and we let them handle internal business. That way, it's not a... Last time, and this was a precedent set a few decades ago, that the mayor tried to interfere with how the workers' union did things. It resulted in a bit of a scuffle and some bruised noses and bruised egos. Generally, we try to stay out of each other's way unless absolutely necessary. It's a very headstrong community, and as if we're not already isolated enough. I'm sure you understand that like some people just kind of like to do their job and have other people stay out of their business.
How'd the foreman get his job?
Must have been a couple decades ago. It's not hereditary, but his mentor basically selected him for the position after he retired, and then he moved off world after that to like, I mean, retire, probably on some paradise world at this point. I wouldn't put it past him. He did good work for a few decades. Yeah, it's a nominative position.
So,
Dog. Booty. Doo.
Oh, you have a thought?
just that I'm personally, as a player, confused why they're
Good.
allowing 14-year-olds to hang on to this key.
Yeah. Which just seems like the person who created this world sucks and didn't think about.
Yeah, fuck
What an
that.
exploding
That'd be fuck
idiot.
that. Crazy. It's not like I was fucking sleep deprived or anything.
Start
There's no
sleeping.
problem.
You're always sleep deprived.
I am. Tell my boss to stop giving me work. Anyways,
Oh, I need sleep. Get a new thing.
start. Just ask your fucking questions.
All right. Well, we're not gonna be able to find out from the Utes from this man.
We need to talk to the youths.
The kids.
Kids.
It is a weekend, so school's not in, so you'd have to like talk to individuals. They're probably out running about. I don't know where they typically hang out, but
What are the chances that I, somebody who looks like a Ute, start smoking and they approach me because I'm cool?
honestly, probably.
Hi.
Yeah,
A
feels
lot of the
feels
mine
good.
workers smoked, so you might be able to blend in with them. Please don't encourage drug use in my colony.
Hey, man.
Lost
Listen,
this
I'm trying. All right.
Do as you will.
I feel like maybe if we had handled the situation when it first started, we wouldn't have to resort to drug use.
All right, let's put you in
Not to
charge of
resort to
1,000
drug
plus
use is so
people
funny.
and run a colony full of independent people who think they know what's best for the colony. You can manage it for a little bit. It's not like people die every week from like being alive, doing stupid stuff, and you have to call their families and tell them, "Oh,
They
your
die
son
every
was
week.
driving a
being
fucking
alive.
van around drunk and ran over 3 kids." Have you ever had that conversation? Great fucking time. I'm sorry if I'm not doing things perfectly. Can I help you?
I'm not trying to actually start anything with this mayor.
Okay.
I just thought it was.
No. Your
Um,
criticisms are always appreciated. Please put them in the complaint box. I'm glad that you're an external evaluator, really telling me how to do my job.
Just to come here. I'm gonna walk away.
Well, I'm gonna go smoke some cigarettes.
God, fuck. You do so. What are you guys? Anything else you guys are doing? I'm about to close things out, but anything you want to do? Any last people to talk to?
I want to talk to the teens.
The teens.
I also really want to talk to the wife of the foreman,
My wife.
but
Okay.
if she's snoozing, then I can do that later.
Yeah, what time is it? Morning still?
It's like late morning at this point. You've been walking around the town for a little bit.
Yeah, but if they have a newborn, she's not beholden to the laws of expectation.
That's not what I'm saying. I wasn't suggesting that she would be awake.
Wake the
now.
fuck up, woman!
No, wait. I know he said newborn, but like, how newborn of a newborn?
He said a couple months old.
Oh, we have book club.
Oh yeah, we do a book
We
club.
do a book club. Well,
Um,
shoot. That's about all I have. Unless there's anyone else you want to talk to real quick or close things out
I
with.
don't have anything right now. I don't
Excellent.
think.
Think about it. Put some thought into it. What the fuck am I saying? Where am I?
Words. You're saying words.
Words.
Anyways, that's been Flight of the Valkyries, Lancer, Tabletop RPG. I'm your host. I'm very tired. I'm sorry. It's been good though.
Yes.
We'll see you another time. Say goodbye. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Papa.
End. You have to click like 3 separate buttons to stop going live.